The president's press secretary has apologized for trying to compare Syrian President Assad and last week's poison gas attack to the Nazis. Sean Spicer told reporters that Syria's use of chemical weapons crossed a line that even Adolf Hitler never did. The statement in the midst of Passover did not recognize the Nazis' use of poison gas to kill millions of Jews and other prisoners. Chip Reid is at the White House. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning. A big part of the White House press secretary's job is to clean up after the president. But in this case, Sean Spicer is trying to clean up his own mess.
My comments today did not reflect the president's, were a distraction from him, and frankly were just misstated, insensitive, and wrong.
White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer swiftly apologized for comments he made at the podium in which he said Adolf Hitler did not use chemical agents on his own people.
We didn't use chemical weapons in World War II. You know, you had someone as despicable as Hitler who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons.
When asked to clarify, Spicer stumbled, seeming to forget the millions who died during the Holocaust in gas chambers at concentration camps.
He was not using the gas on his own people the same way that Assad is doing. I mean, there was clearly, I understand your point. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. There was not he brought him into the Holocaust Center. I understand that.
At the Pentagon, Defense Secretary James Mattis succinctly spelled out what Spicer was trying to say.
Even in World War II, chemical weapons were not used on battlefields. Even in the Korean War, they were not used on battlefields.
The backlash against Spicer was swift and harsh. In a statement, the Anne Frank Center said Spicer's comments were the most evil slur upon a group of people ever heard from someone at the White House. House Democratic Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said Spicer must be fired and called on the president to disavow his statements.
I wish Sean hadn't said it, but it's a terribly, terribly hard job.
Ari Fleischer, White House press secretary under President George W. Bush, said the only person who can decide if Spicer stays or goes is the man he represents.
Sean works for Donald Trump, and so long as he has the president's confidence, it's not an issue.
The president has not yet commented on Spicer's gaffe, but he'll have a chance to do so at a press conference later today. Charlie?
Chip, the New York Post has a columnist named Michael Goodwin, who Donald Trump has known for a long time. He did an interview with him in which he said, "I like Steve," talking about Steve Bannon, "but you have to remember he was not involved in my campaign until very late, and I'm my own strategist." What's the significance of this, and what message is he sending?
Well, it strongly suggests that Bannon is on some kind of super secret probation after his feud last week with Jared Kushner, who, of course, is a senior advisor here, but also the president's son-in-law. This is the first time the president has publicly acknowledged that feud. He said to the Post, "Steve is a good guy, but I told them to straighten it out or I will." The feeling late last week was that Bannon wasn't going anywhere. But yesterday afternoon, sources began hinting that Bannon was a non-crucial latecomer to the campaign. Now, it's very well known here the president is very protective of his family, so everyone's waiting to see how Bannon responds.
Thanks, Chip.